Hello, this is Dr. Mark Miravalli. I'm here in Ireland with Anne Leopold. We're going through Volume 9 dedicated to the angels. I would like to read this September 8th, 2004 message from our Blessed Mother and then ask for Anne's comments. These are the words of Our Lady. My children, how often I have looked upon you, surrounded by God's angels, but feeling so alone. These angels have soft little hearts, and they grieve with you when you are sad. So often they seek to comfort you with heavenly thoughts, but you do not accept these ideas. Allow these beautiful thoughts into your hearts, and you will feel the consolation with which the angels seek to bless you. Again I say, and I understand that I am repeating myself, you must spend time in silence, so that we can place these lovely thoughts in your hearts. You understand that communicating with heaven is not like communicating with earth. We do not shout, usually, and you must listen with your soul. In days past, there was not this constant noise. Children, think about why the enemy never leaves you in peace. It is like a child's attempt to distract someone so that bad news cannot be communicated about him. When you feel distracted and feel your peace is slipping from you, ask yourself how much time during that particular day you spent in silence, contemplating God. I am certain that it was not enough. So find silence. Seek it out. Value it. Understand that this is not wasted time, but the most important time of your day. And your thoughts?
Our Lady characterizes the angels with soft little hearts.
Mm-hmm.
And she said they grieve with you when you are sad. You know, a lot of people are lonely in this time. And if we can bring the message, that message alone, if we could get that communicated into the world, that when you're sad, there's someone sad with you.
Mm-hmm.
Your angel is with you, and your angel grieves with you and seeks to console you. But what really hits me here is that often the angels seek to place the heavenly thoughts in our souls. Oh, I have experienced this myself. Like, in other words, like there's a holy way to look at something. There's a humble, holy way to look at something. But then the rebelliousness of our spirit says, well, wait a minute. You know, and I think we want to look at that rebellious spirit that's, you know, tempted toward agitation. If we take the heavenly thoughts and take them on and we accept them as our own, we'll be beautiful.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
We will be beautiful. But she has a repeated plea for silence. And we will be calm if we allow the silence. Do you know, one of the most beautiful things is, for me, is cleaning the house in the quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Because your mind can go free in manual work if there's quiet.
Right.
And one of the most difficult things to handle is, like, you go and you might have to wait an hour in a doctor's office, or, you know, and for me it's an hour to sit. So there's loads of things you can think about and pray about, and, you know, and then there's loud music on. Is it desperate?
Yeah. Or the local soap opera, or
oh
or
my gosh, there's you really have to fight for silence.
Right, and you know, our mother says that a lot of this noise distraction is from her adversary, who's
Yes.
also our adversary. That
Right.
Satan uses us. I often think that when you're praying the family rosary,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes the phone rings, apart from who's on the other end,
Mm-hmm.
or something happens as a desired distraction from
Mm-hmm.
the adversary. So as you say, we have to fight for that.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go back to an earlier point, which would
Well, you know, excuse me, what we do for the family rosary, we have one person in charge of taking the phone off the hook beforehand, because not only would it ring, but repeatedly.
Absolutely.
Every time.
Yeah.
So we just take it off the hook in advance.
We do the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This idea that the angels have a type of angelic empathy for you. Now, some would say,
Mm-hmm.
well, how can angels have emotions? They don't have bodies. But it's the soul of the angel,
Mm-hmm.
united to the soul of its steward, of the
Mm-hmm.
person that's watching over, that God has allowed the angel to have this type of angelic empathy, a sadness of heart, in a way that Jesus talks about many times in the message, his sadness of heart, So if the resurrected and ascended Jesus can be sad for us, surely the angels can be sad for us, as they are spiritual persons without bodies, and these are it's a sadness of the soul that we see, that we experience when we see people that are sad. Surely the angels can participate in that sadness with the hope of getting us back on the right path.
Well, there's intimacy.
That's right.
They feel the intimacy with us. And so, of course, they would feel compassion and sadness and grief and all those different things with us. You know, Our Lady says, think about why the enemy never leaves you in peace. Because if we are not left in peace and quiet, we don't contemplate these things. And very often, people will say, I was walking and this thought came to me. When I woke up and this thought came to me. After communion, this thought came to me. It's always in silence.
And I think because of the way of life, at least in the West, if we want silence, we have to plan silence. We can't expect silence to happen unplanned. And we plan everything else in our day. You know, we plan when we eat, we plan when we exercise, we plan when we work. We have to plan our silence. And it's not just silence in some type of nihilist way. It's a contemplation of God, she says. This is a silent prayer. It's being still and listening for Him, and also listening to the angel that's giving us some very specific directions for given days.
Seek it out, value it. With regard to silence, find it, seek it out, value it. Understand that this is not wasted time. But Our Lady calls silence the most important part of our day.
Thank you, Anne.